Folks, this is a 2025 Hummer EV 3X truck. All-wheel steering, crab walk, 1,000 horsepower. It's the most absurd electric vehicle. It's also by far the most inefficient electric vehicle I've ever driven, but it's also the coolest. So we'll come up front right here. You see it says 3X. So 3X and 2X. 3X means tri-motor. There's also a little Easter egg right here. There's a Hummer in the windshield plugged right in there. And because GMC loves our country, we got the American flag tucked right in on this rear panel. Now, the truck version of this gets an extra 200 horsepower over the standard Hummer. So that power is unique to the Hummer EV truck. Now, we also have the multi-pro lift gate, so if we press this button, the whole thing comes down. And if we press the smaller button, this comes down and you have a step here. You have 2 kicker speakers, USB input with auxiliary, and you can Bluetooth connect your car into this system here. This would be great for tailgating. The other thing that is shocking to me is the size of this bed that's attached to the rear of a Hummer that already has a ton of space on the inside of it. But another thing that makes this the coolest EV that I've ever driven here is it's also a convertible, and it's very easy to use. All you have to do is unlock this and lift up, and it pops right out, and this is like a plexiglass layer. And then you may be wondering to yourself, well, where do you store them? Do you throw them in the rear? No. Do you throw them in the interior? No. You store them perfectly in the frunk, which has been really nicely designed. And you're also able to open the frunk with the key. All you have to do is hold this, click it twice, hold it down, and this pops up. And the car comes with these storage bags right here, so you can safely store the plexiglass roof. You also have your charging cables here. The range on this thing is 355 miles. That's what the infotainment system was showing at 99% state of charge. So you have good mileage. It weighs, I think, 10,800 pounds, but it also has 10,000 foot-pounds of torque. So you get a pound and you get a torque. That's how GM designed this thing. So I absolutely love it. You can see these massive tanks for the air suspension in there, the studded tires. This has the off-road package. Personally, if I were to get a Hummer EV, I would get the SUV version. I wouldn't get it with the truck. But if you want your car to do if you want your car to have 1,000 horsepower, all-wheel steering, a truck, a convertible, and 0 to 60 around 3 seconds, this is your only option on the market. Now let's take a look at the interior. The rear of the Hummer has some normal truck features which are shocking to me. You have this storage area here, and then you also have this bench seat which flips totally vertical and locks into place. Looks like we have some, maybe an air compressor here. And under the seat, we've just found this compressor here. We've also found a hair tie because someone was getting thrown around back here. So that screws into the floor with this to keep everything secure, because this is an off-road vehicle. It will not be used to go to an office. You have USB-A, USB-C, you have heated seats in the back, you can have your own zone of climate control, and you can see that we've got a golf bag stored back here very, very comfortably, because if you play golf, you don't want your clubs in the back. They deserve to be in the cabin, temperature control, that way your balls are the right temperature for when you hit the course. Onto the interior. Heated and cooled seats up front, but it's nice because you have some integration with the switches up here, and you have a touchscreen. Now, what I don't like is that Apple CarPlay is shaped like this just on part of the screen. It almost looks like we have a web browser that's like been left open. You can't drag it or anything. This is just how it's been designed. Now, what I was talking about with these switches is when you press down, it unlocks this screen, so you can turn on your cooled seat there with 3 different settings, and your heated seat, 3 different settings. And then you can also just leave it on auto, and auto seems to actually work pretty well. Then down here, you have these switches for your locking your rear diff, locking both diffs, your 4-ways, all that type of stuff is down there. Actual air vents where you can just move them around. USB-A, USB-C, then you have the 2 storage areas down here, Sunday red, and we have this massive, who is in this thing? We have this massive storage area back here with a 12 volt. So you do have a lot of space, and then on top of that, you have a large area underneath the center console, so you can store things there as well. Now, what I don't like, the infotainment system is, you know, as far as the reactiveness to it, it's fine. There's just not a lot of depth to it. And this is, in my opinion, where like Rivian and Tesla are far ahead, because the integration that they have is attached to everything in the vehicle. Like, it has Google Assistant, okay? Hey Google, open the frunk.
Sorry, I can't play news from the front yet.
Okay, so she doesn't speak English. Hey Google, turn on the air conditioning.
Sure, turning on the AC.
Hey Google, set the temperature to 65.
All right, changing the temperature to 65 degrees.
So that was nice. I like that. But there's certain things on the car where I feel like they could be using that to be more integrated into the vehicle. But again, as you learn it, you'll start to learn things, as I just did on camera right there. So we have the energy usage. I just feel like some of these screens could be redesigned and be a lot easier for you to access everything. Now, it does have all-wheel steering, and for a car that is this large and this heavy, going into tight parking lots, Target, Costco, the usual suspects, very easy. It just pivots right into spots, lets you line up straight and pull right in. There's cameras all around the vehicle. So there's cameras underneath the vehicle that will show you what's going on if you're off-roading or if you're trailering something. So I'll go through each of these. There's the rear of the vehicle. There is an above view, an augmented view of the back of the car. We have this view. You can see the all-wheel steering working. There's the rear. That's really cool. You can see right on your tow hitch there, you can see that part of it. Also, this vehicle costs $133,000. It has $26,000 in options. This Hummer has 3 windshield wipers. I've never seen that on a vehicle. The panels remove easily, as we showed. The Multi-Pro tailgate has a step and sound system. It has a normal mirror and digital mirror. It weighs 10,000 pounds, has 1,000 horsepower, and this 3X model is the tri-motor with 18-inch wheels and an off-road package. It also has electronic locking rear and front diffs, underbody cameras, and 11,500 foot-pound of torque. Again, this is the pickup, so it has 1,000 horsepower. The SUV has 800 horsepower. Like this. Now, again, I don't know what the actual use case of this is, but it certainly is a cool party trick that you can use if you need to go sideways. So there's crab walk. Now, crabs don't have to worry about their data, but humans do, and that's why today's video sponsor is DeleteMe. Since I started using DeleteMe in December, the robocalls have gone to almost zero because DeleteMe has scanned 28,388 listings with my information like phone number and address and removed it from 286 sites, saving me a ton of time and keeping my information private. DeleteMe starts by having you fill out a profile of your name, common spellings, your phone number, address, or previous addresses you've lived at to find your information that data brokers are selling. These brokers organize this data, then license it to other data brokers or other organizations who can profit from your information. DeleteMe will generate your first report, and it can take a day all the way up to a month to get your information removed from the internet. And the best part is they keep removing your information every 3 months when it pops up on websites. Additionally, their privacy advisors even handle custom requests to remove your data if you find it somewhere random on the internet. DeleteMe is offering Gjeebs viewers 20% off DeleteMe US consumer plans when you go to joindeleteme.com/Gjeebs20 and use promo code Gjeebs20 at checkout. There's also international plans linked in the description. DeleteMe, thank you for sponsoring this video. I'm in a tight area. I'm in Scottsdale, and just getting in and out of these little parking spaces, the roof is removed from the vehicle. It's like for a car that is this size and has this performance, it's a riot. People are like waving and yelling at you, and you can't even believe the amount of heads that it turns. Some guy just walked up to me and goes, does it have crab walk? I said, yeah. He goes, awesome, man. Have a good day. That's all he wanted to know. Like, it's just such a cool vehicle, and it's exotic. And yes, it costs a lot, but this is the absolute best way they could have brought back the Hummer, and that was to make it an EV. And another thing that no one's talked about is the sound that it makes reminds you of the H2. It has a sound to it. Part of it is the sound of the tires are really loud, but it's perfectly tuned the way that they have the audio coming in through the speaker system. It's heavy, but it drives like it's very light. Like I can't say that enough, how good the driving dynamics are. Then the fact that it's a convertible, cooled seats, has extreme off-road capability. I will say though, off-roading this, it's a GT3 behind me, off-roading this would be tough. Weighing what it does, I don't know. There's a Ferrari California and a 911 GT3 RS behind me. They sound incredible. I was not interested in GM vehicles really before. I could have kind of cared less. Then I did the Denali EV drive, the Sierra Denali EV. Then driving this for the past week, I can't say enough good about it. The downside is it's just like a huge battery pack that they've put in this thing that gives it incredible range. So yes, it gets a lot of range for being as aerodynamically inefficient as it is. But also it would be more inefficient as a gas-powered vehicle. So this is a car to me that would drive you to buy it not because it's an EV, or it would bring you into the EV world because it's just cool. It's really well made. Yes, it has some party tricks like crab walk and things like that. I think there's some deficiencies to the software where it could just be a little more intuitive. But as you own the vehicle, you would learn the switches, you would know where to go with everything. I just can't say enough good about it. It's very fun to drive, and that's what shocks me the most. Because of the all-wheel steering, because it's fast, it's a convertible, it's a truck, it's everything you could possibly want it to be. I think what separates the Hummer for me a lot is the fact that I am excited to get out and drive this thing. A lot of electric vehicles are the best daily drivers. The Model 3 and the Model Y are the two best daily drivers out there because they're convenient, they're quick, they're efficient, they have all this technology in them, good sound system. Everything you'd want to do on a daily basis, they do really well. This is like, in a way, that weekend car that does absolutely everything. It can go off-road, it's fast, has a sound to it. It gives you a visceral feeling and feedback that I can't say that any other EV has given me. I can't say any other EV has made me this excited to drive it. Part of it's the attention you get, part of it's how ridiculous it is, but then it's also just nice to drive. It's nice to steer and maneuver and accelerate. GM did an excellent job on this. Now, if you want to see me drive the Sierra Denali EV, click this video right here. We just did that out in California. It was incredible. It has the Delete midgate, 460 miles of range. Check this video out right here.